9 o'clock in the morning at Old Trafford, and the teams arrive for the start of the 1993 Ashes Test Series. Some understandable tension there from the Australians, but they seem okay now that they're out there working out on this Old Trafford ground. It's an historic ground, Old Trafford. 1956, Jim Laker took 19 wickets against the Australians and gave us a tremendous stoushing. 1961, we came from nowhere on the last afternoon and retained the Ashes. And in 1989, which is the last time these two teams have met in England in a test match, David Boone hit the winning runs to regain the Ashes for Australia for the first time in England since 1934. Well, it's all a new start now, even though the Australians have won the Texacos 3-0. And as always, the toss precedes the test match itself. Here's Tony Lewis now, and he's with Graham Gooch and Alan Border.
Heads.
We'll have a bowl, eh?
It's not a shock.
Graham, win the toss and what?
We're going to have a bowl. I mean, the wicket was very wet yesterday. It seems to have dried out a bit. So we're going to have a bowl first, see what it does. But it looks not too bad. So it's how you play, I always think, and not what the pitch or the toss does.
Have the conditions affected your team selection?
No, we come up here. Unfortunately, Alan Eggleston pulled a groin yesterday, so it's very bad luck to him. He can't play. So we brought De Freitas in, Phil De Freitas. I left out Mark Arlott. We're playing two spinners in this match.
Yeah. Alan, how do you win the toss?
We would have bowled, just given the conditions, etc. You get maybe a little bit of early advantage and hopefully you can do some damage. But now we've got to rethink our plans. As Graham said, you know, if they don't bowl well and we get stuck in, we can get some runs on the board and see what happens after that.
Sure. Have conditions here, which are a little wet underfoot, affected your team selection?
A little bit. So we were very interested in playing the two spinners, but just the way that the conditions are, we felt it was better to go on with the extra seamer.
Yeah, wish you well.
Thank you.
Okay.
It seems at the moment anyway a good toss for Graham Gooch to win. The England side, Gooch and Atherton, then Smith, Gadding, Hicks, Stewart, Lewis, Caddick. Peter Such from Essex comes into the side, takes the place of Mark Arlott from the same county. De Freitas is in for Eggleston, and Tufnell, the left-arm spinner, is at number 11. The Australians, they had big decisions to make. Slater has beaten Hayden for a place at the top of the order to go in with Mark Taylor. The two War brothers are there, Alan Border and Boone. Then Healy, Brendan Julian makes his test match debut. There's Merv Hughes. Shane Warne is the one spinner in, though looking to play two. Tim Mayer's missed out. And then there is Craig McDermott. Just to confirm, England won the toss and the fielding. The umpires for this opening test of the Ashes battle at Old Trafford, Harold Bird and Ken Palmer. We join play now in the fifth over. Andrew Caddick is the bowler. He's bowling to Mark Taylor. It's no wicket for 8, and Caddick already has been warned by umpire Bird for running too close to the line of the stumps. For bowl, that's the first one.
Well, that was a beauty. You'll be delighted with this. It went through quite nicely. Definitely good line length. Left the batsman. Look how it carried. Well, not all the balls through his early overs have carried quite as swiftly going up as much as that did to Alex Stewart.
It's a good stroke in this one. He plays quite beautifully. Ground's a bit slow on that side, over towards the pavilion. 3 to Slater, and Australia now 11 for 90.
Andrew Caddick. Well, it was streaky, but it was solidly played in a way by Slater, because well forward and bat and pad together. And if there is any movement, then the batsman's got some sort of chance. See, he gets a good stride in there. Straight bat. It was off the edge, not played there, but he made his own luck. Well, the first time that Caddick has tried Slater out, and he played it well. runs there. That was a half volley. That might go all the way, although it is a slow outfield. Such will not do it. That's a fine shot. It really is on a slow pitch like that, and to pick the length and play such an incisive stroke with a straight bat.
Yes, again, it's a stroke of a batsman in form, and this is where the Australians have been so lucky, and what's been, well, predominantly a pretty wet summer for most of the counties. They seem to have avoided the rain. They've played on some very good wickets around the country. They've all got into good form, and that's very important going into the first Test match.
Well, you mustn't bowl there. That's exactly the length not to bowl that. All right, it was upish, but it was a poor delivery.
Yeah, I think Chris Lewis came up very steadily to the wickets there, just making sure his putter was right, and didn't really put a great deal in that delivery. And again, he's another ball not looking too happy with his run-up.
And there's the man who's top of everything: appearances, captaincy, 78 of them as leader of his country. Most durable cricketer in modern times. Oh, this is good play from Slater. It's being helped by some pretty wayward bowling, but even so, a young man in his first Test match, and he's playing with considerable freedom.
Yes, I think Graham Gooch should be very pleased to win the toss this morning. He won't be too pleased with the way the England bowlers have bowled, though. They've bowled nothing like what they ought to on this pitch. Off stump, good line and length. Look for the ball to do something off the pitch. There hasn't been too much of that. A bit of a lack of concentration about the England bowling this morning.
Oh, that's one of the better balls of the morning.
Yes, certainly a movement off the seam there. But the main thing was the length was excellent. See that ball cutting away from the left-hander.
Brilliant shot. Beautifully played. It's good indication that the short pitcher is not going to fly today. The pitch is just well, it's just like plasticine. Bowler's not going to get much out of it. Good shot. A little bit short, wasn't all that short, but still got it away to the square leg boundary, just in front of the umpire.
Well, you don't have to be very short on this pitch. That's why you've got to over-pitch the ball, make the batsman drive, if anything. So slow is the pitch that if you're just half a yard short when you're bowling spinners, it just sits up and gives the batsman time to move their feet into position. And it's well played again by the Australian batsman.
Well, it's a good thing it's gone for 4, otherwise they'd have run 5 there with no one really chasing after it. Caddick slipped in going for the fielding on his left-hand side.
Short of a length, wide, thank you very much. That's what you've got to avoid on these pitches. The old maxim, pitch the ball up.
very much if Silly Point, feeling very wide, really thought that was out.
This was a better delivery, well pitched up. See, it goes, turns, missed it. Oh, it's worth a shout.
Lunch was taken 3 balls later with the score at 58 for no wicket. A very good job from Taylor and Slater. Excellent innings from Slater in his debut match. 30 not out of 58. And the bowling figures for England, well, there's nothing in the pitch for them, but they did bowl too short. They'll need to remedy that after lunch. No wickets in the final column there, and Such didn't bowl too badly. 3 overs, 1 maiden, and no wicket for 9. We join play in the 4th over after lunch. It's 64 for no wicket, and it's Such who's bowling to Taylor.
Good stop. I think Peter Such was very pleased he got away with that. Pulled it down short of a length. Andrew Carrick was the fielder.
Yes, it's not just short, there's a bit of width in it as well, which, well, that makes the ball appear another couple of feet shorter still. And that's where left-handers usually like them.
Oh, well bowled, and that's a wicket-taking ball. The one that goes straight on, maybe slightly leaves the batsman. Beautifully played. Perfect footwork and perfect placement. Graham Gooch is the man who had a long run down from long off. And so neatly played.
Well, there's no doubt that both these Australian batsmen are confident, they're looking good form, they're using the feet. And I think it is a case of seam at one end and spin at the other.
Oh, another cracking shot. Again, you see the example of superb footwork. The ball was a good length, just given a bit of air, and Michael Slater responded to that sort of extra flight by dancing down the pitch.
Yes, there's nothing wrong with that delivery. Spun the ball, gave it a little bit of air, good line, but superb batsmanship. Really good use of the feet, getting through the line, straight back down the ground.
Yeah, beautifully played again. The ball was there to be hit. It was wide, it was a long half volley, and in Test cricket, batsmen put those away.
Yes, I think Tufnell was tempting there, a bit wider, slower, but really I think at the moment what England could do is 5 or 6 overs from each end of really good length and line to get the game back on keel again.
Well, that deserved better. It was a hoik to leg stump, to the leg side, just 3 fielders out there, and really Peter Such deserved better luck than that.
Yeah, it's not the kind of shot you'd expect in the first 2.5 hours of a test match.
Well, that's a better shot by Taylor. Again, in a way, both these England bowlers, I fancy trying to bowl a bit too straight.
Yes, this was a good shot. He used his feet. It was a full-length ball, but he used his feet nicely there and placed it through mid-wicket. Certainly pad first. Whether he took anything glove afterwards, I don't know, but a bit of a shout.
Got that one. That's his 7th 4.
Well, rather than be too critical of the bowling, just a tiny touch short, very little. Good footwork, really, by Mark Taylor.
Andrew Caddick's had a tremendous early season for Somerset. Over 30 wickets. All England want now is one from him. But beautifully played away by Slater. He does pick the length so well.
Well, that's the type of delivery that I talked to before about. You can use the pace of the ball. The quicker the ball comes onto the batsman on a slow pitch, if it's offline, short of a length, you can use the pace of that ball outside off stump, just back cut it away. You don't have to hit it.
Well, that's scored the over 5 dot balls and suddenly concedes 3. It brings up the 100 for Australia. Making a good exhibition of batting. That's 50 for Taylor. At one stage it looked as though young Slater would be there first, but 7 4s. And that's 50 for Slater. Super innings, and what a debut. Neat, and technically correct. Fine footwork.
Well, that's a top-class performance by Michael Slater. I go even further. I would say some of his footwork this morning has been textbook. He could have put it in the MCC coaching manual, and he would have done himself and everybody else proud that watched him play.
Taylor's able to find gaps almost at will. More or less a firm push. No real intent to swing the bat at that.
No, but it was the quick footwork that made this. Look how he gets to the pitch and then keeps the bat straight, times it well, just places it. But the feet moving quickly, the quick thought, gets to the pitch, and then he can do what he wants with it.
Very good cricket from Slater and Taylor. Had to be a direct hit for there to be any opportunity of a run out there.
They've run very well between wickets, these two.
And he's gone. The top edge. The Freitas might well smile because it wasn't much of a ball, but anything that gets a wicket is well worthwhile. Very short. And Slater was almost through with the stroke. Top edge Stewart. And it's 128 for 1 now with Slater out for 58.
Michael Slater quite likes the pull shot and the hook shot. And I think what happened there, the ball just didn't come on as quickly as he was expecting it to. And he got a bit of an edge. So the much-needed breakthrough for England. But Michael Slater can be well pleased with that debut. 58, 7 4s, and also involved in a century opening partnership in his first test. David Boone, who has been Australia's most dependable batsman in the last 3 years. and coming in the familiar position, number 3.
Wasn't very far away from being out, I can tell you. LBW law allows the batsman to be out now, not playing a stroke.
It's good bowling. The previous delivery just moving off the seam towards the slips, then that one coming back.
And beautifully bowled once again. Just to confirm what Ian Chappell said, the Freitas has slipped one past the outside edge. It's a maiden over and a very good one indeed.
The reason why he's really troubling Taylor is because he's getting that ball to go both ways. Firstly, the one that comes back into him, and then the one that goes away. David Boon has started very confidently. Cover drive off the first ball that he received, and then a boundary through the onside. That's really where he's had his strongest, through the onside, David Boon.
That's an edge on the pad, I would say.
David Boon appeared as though he was looking for the pull shot when that ball was banged in short, but it didn't bounce too much.
Well, there was a chance. And of all people to drop it, it was Graham Hick, who is probably as good in there as anybody in the world. And that was a straightforward regulation slip catch, knee high, just pushing at the ball, straight in there, knee high, left knee, and out. And you were back that gentleman to catch that, well, 99 times out of 100.
Oh, that is close. Gracious me, that's close. But from round the wicket, of course, there's the angle.
You know, I think there's probably a little inside edge there as well, with the smile that the umpires are giving him.
No ball into the bargain. All that good work from Lewis, suddenly the clouds lift for Taylor, and he gets a present like that.
Well, it was a beautiful shot, nicely timed.
A very good position for Australia at T, 148 for 1, with Slater the man out for 58. Taylor is going along very well for 70, and Boon is looking solid on 11. The bowling figures for England, just a 1 wicket there. De Freitas bowled that splendid spell in mid-afternoon, 14 over 6 maidens and 1 for 21. No wickets to any of the other bowlers. And we join play now in the second over after tea. It's 154 for 1, and Lewis is the bowler. Mark Taylor is taking straight. Well, that was a loosener. Taylor didn't knock around with it.
Well, whenever he's driven today, Mark Taylor, he's picked the gaps so well. It's been an object lesson for any youngster watching, not trying to hit the ball too hard. Hit it better, don't try to hit it harder. Just time it so well.
And that's 4. His 11th boundary.
That's the sort of shot that Mark Taylor got into a bit of trouble with against the West Indies. But I think it's a sign that his footwork is so much better on this occasion. He played the shot as a proper square cut. Against the West Indies, it was a half a cut, half a drive shot because he wasn't getting his feet in the right place. And I think on 2 or 3 occasions he got out against the West Indies playing that shot. as though it might have been an inside edge onto the back pad and almost running back onto the to the back of the front foot, almost running onto the stumps.
That's well bowled. There's something there for him.
So quite good spin there for Peter Such. And also that one turning fairly quickly.
Oh, he's gone. He's gone. He's gone. Second attempt. Wow, I thought he dropped it. So did David Boone.
Yeah, I think he's certainly deceived him in length there. He was such a little bit quicker, going straight on ball, and really I think he ought to have been fully forward there, David Boone, but he caught him half and half. But that was good bowling, and Peter Such should deserve that. He's had a pretty good first Test match. Hasn't shown much sign of nerves. He came on straight away and started with a maiden, and he's bowled pretty well throughout the day. And that'll be a great feeling for him tonight, his first Test wicket.
I thought he dropped it. I really did.
Yeah, it was a pretty straightforward slip catch to start with. It hit him on the wrist. He went too low with his hands. But he did well to get down low enough to catch it the second time. Good reactions second time. But you see, it's a good straightforward slip catch to start with. Yes, it should really have been caught without a lot of fumbling, because David Boone wasn't really playing a shot. He just pushed at it.
Mark Waugh's the new batsman. Yeah, that's a lovely stroke. It's bowled down there. They bowled quite quickly and ending offline. Mark Taylor's played that shot really well. Sometimes just a paddle shot, but always turning the bat on it, turning the wrist on it. We see that again. You just watch the bat turn on it to keep the ball down, and steered very fine. And there it is. Well, that's a splendid century by Mark Taylor. And you can't pay him a greater compliment than to say it's not a surprise. He was dropped when he was 64, but such an accomplished player these days. You see, saw a very straight bat right from the start. Done a terrific job for his side. 100 out of 193 for 2. Well bowled. And as we said, Mark Waugh should know Peter Such's skills. And that turned quite sharply. Well, I don't see the point of having a mid-wicket lurking back there and letting Mark Waugh off the hook, so to speak. It's 200 then for 2. The 200's up.
And there's a beautiful delivery. Turned it. Got Mark Taylor turned around, playing it to the leg side. And that's what I mean by the spinners really trying to roll their fingers. It only takes one ball, and you've got to put some doubt in the batsman's mind as well. Keep trying to spin it as much as you can.
Good shot. That's a very good shot. Straight over the rope and straight into the side screen. Could hardly have hit it more accurately down the ground.
Yes, nothing wrong with the bowling. Philip Tufnell trying to loop it, get it into the bowler's foot marks. Just a good batsman in form, past his century, confidence high. Just used his feet and lofted it into the deep. Excellent cricket.
Taylor's down the track again. That's good timing. He didn't really put a great deal of effort into that. beautifully stroked away over mid-on for 6.
Well, they're all good shots, these. Just hit Tufnell twice. Now he's taking a liking to the off-spinner. So the spinners are going to need protection. They're going to need a couple of guys back there. Stop his boundaries. Let Mark Taylor take one and then bowl at Mark Waugh.
This is Philip Tufnell to Mark Waugh. And he's got him caught and bowled, and in a manner I've seen Waugh fall before. Tufnell just slowed it up. It held up in the pitch, and Waugh wasn't there. He will be very, very disappointed about that. But that's good bowling from Phil Tufnell.
And it's lovely flight here. The ball right up in the air, making Mark Waugh drive. The ball before, Philip Tufnell made him drive to mid-off, off the front foot. And here again, Mark Waugh trying to drive it, working a little bit on the onside, but the flight did him as much as the little bit of turn. And that's what I've been advocating for far too long. Make the batsman drive off the front foot more.
Taylor's gone too. Caught and bowled. On the drive again, and Such has picked up the wicket. And suddenly the whole picture changes. Mark Waugh, first of all, driving at Tufnell and not quite being over it. And then Peter Such, who's bowled a good spell, has picked up the wicket of century maker Mark Taylor. 124 for Taylor.
Well, that's a splendid century for Australia. Full of excellent shots, good nimble footwork. In the end, towards the end of the day, probably a little tired, a little overconfident. Pitching the ball up, making him drive, flight the ball and pitch it up, and suddenly England have got themselves a couple of wickets. Flighted up, front foot drive, guided it to the onside, it just held a little bit, just turned, just enough to come back to the boys. He's looking to hit it towards mid-on, just holds, bit of turn, scoops back. Almost a replay of Philip Tufnell getting out Mark Waugh 5 minutes ago.
That's good cricket from the two England spinners. Steve Waugh is the new batsman for Australia. So 225 for 4 now, Australia. And the first ball Peter Such has bowled a border. It's a good one.
And suddenly it's a different game with new batsmen in.
He's done him again. Twice in the one over with off spinners that have pitched around about, probably around about middle.
Oh, bowled him. There we are. Well, that's the 5th wicket. And Such has deserved that. Drawing Waugh into the drive, turning it, and 232 for 5.
Yes, this was well bowled. It was a little bit in the air, didn't quite get to it, and really that was an off-spinner's delight. Creating the gate, getting between bat and pad, a fine delivery. And that's spun quite a long way again.
Raymond, you're positively drooling at that dismissal, to see a batsman do that.
We haven't seen too many of those in the last few years, Jack, and it was a great sight. Beautifully bowled.
Ten more runs added to take the Australian total up to 242 for 5 at the close of play. Lovely innings from Taylor, 124. Slater played very well for his 58, and Boone was solid for his 21. Border 9 and Healy 6 of the not-out batsmen, but it was a good fight back by England. Late in the day, the ball started to turn much more sharply, and it's reflected in the bowling figures. Such and Tufnell, I thought, did very well, and Such looks to me to have quite a bit of potential. 23 overs, 5 maidens, 3 for 54. Tufnell, 21 overs, 4 maidens, and 1 for 65.
Well then, Such has earned that wicket. He really has, because in every over he's caused problems. He's bowled beautifully, and that is a big strike. Australia now 260 for 6.
Yes, they may have been discussing whether to change the bowling, but there's one thing they wouldn't want to do at the moment, and that's to take Peter Such off. He's not in great form again this morning. He's beaten Alan Boyd at least once or twice every over. And finally, he managed to dismiss him. Again, it's a lovely line, right on that leg stump. See the ball, plenty of turn there. Alex Stewart taking the ball. Lovely. People grumble about him being a makeshift keeper. He doesn't miss too much.
A new batsman, Brendan Julian.
Julian is away, and England very much on top here this morning. It was very well bowled by Such, 5 wickets, and Julian was playing a firm pitch stroke to a ball turning in at him on a slow pitch.
Yeah, the point I made about the ball turn into the batsman, the Aussies are not as happy with that, and you see here just going forward, bat pad, straightforward catch there to short leg.
That's a very good performance by Such, 5 wickets for him. Little inside edge onto pad, and Gatting didn't move. He just kept his eyes focused on the ball as it flew from inside edge off the pad. And that's going to be out if De Freitas can make it. Yes, got it. Top edge from Merv Hughes. De Freitas behind square. It's a very good catch. It looked as though he didn't pick it up at the start. The crowd in the background may have merged with that. And then he made very, very good ground to it. Even have been a little bit of a grab at the end, but he clutched at it and held it safely.
Yes, I think it was only a matter of time before Merv Hughes tried to hit Peter Such. He couldn't go on propping and copping there all day. You see, the hand came off the bat, so he didn't get it cleanly. He was trying to strike it probably a bit too hard. Lost his grip, it went up a long way. A little bit of a fumble here by Philip De Freitas, just in the end of the fingers, but he's such a good mover and a good pair of hands that you expect him to catch those. He was very delighted, really, because he didn't quite get it fully in the hand, got it more in the fingers. But all that matters is that he held on to it. Lovely pressure bowling by the spinners this morning. Peter Such picking up the wickets, but it's the pressure coming from both ends, not allowing the Australians to get away.
Shane Warne is the new batsman. 266 for 8. Out. Good catch. I think it's his day.
Well, wonderful bowling again and fielding, but the pressure, just pure pressure, runs drying up for Australia. The spinners bowling so tightly and well, you can almost feel it here, but you can't see where the Australian tailenders are going to get a run, and in the end, you just try to hit him out of the ground or over the top, didn't clear mid-on, Nice neat catch by Peter Such, the main wicket taker this morning. And that's just reward for Phil Tufnell, who's played his part in bowling tight with Peter Such at the other end. I think this is the right ball to try and hit over the top. I think that's the area. Straightish mid-on, the big gap there. The man out for the slog is at deep mid-wicket.
Got him, Chris Lewis, brilliant. Well, what a way to finish off the innings, and that shows you when a side has got confidence, things start to run their way. Peter Such there, 6 wickets, but that last one, it won't carry his name in the scorebook, but all down to Chris Lewis. McDermott run out, and Australia all out for 289. It really was a wonderful piece of fielding and a very good session for England. 77 minutes this morning, and they've taken the last 5 wickets for 47, and there goes Peter Such, the England hero. 6 wickets on debut, and he was worth every one of them. He teased, he tormented, and he's bowling here, and we see Warne turning it away. Now Lewis has got to run, pick, turn and throw, and not easy to do accurately, but he did it all. And again, umpire Palmer's the man who got to decide. I don't think there was much room for doubt, but that's difficult, doing a full turn and throw, and got him.
289 all out. Well, the Australians will be quite pleased with that. If you'd have offered them 289 at the start of yesterday's play, they'd have taken it and been very grateful. But it needed a good partnership at the end there between Warne and McDermott, with Warne 15 and McDermott 8 to get them up to that figure. England also will be very happy with the way it went, because the bowlers did a terrific job again this morning. What a debut for Peter Such. 33.3 overs, 9 maidens, 6 for 67, and Tufnell, the more experienced partner in the spin pair, 2 for 78 from 28 overs and 5 maidens. Well, England had to bat for half an hour before lunch, in the course of which they made 11 runs without loss. Gooch 8 not out and Atherton 1, and in making the 8 runs, Graham Gooch has gone to 8th on the list of all-time Test match run getters for England. He's moved just ahead of Colin Cowdrey. We join play now after lunch with 6 runs added. Hughes is bowling to Atherton.
Oh, that's beautifully bowled.
Well, that's a good over from Hughes. Made the ball nip back, and then this one seam away from Michael Atherton. That little push stroke, he's not getting right forward, Michael Atherton.
Oh, that's a fine shot. And really, Gooch has looked much more positive today. His feet are starting to move well, and he's been looking for gaps. Borders posted 4 close catches. There are some gaps, and Gooch is taking advantage.
Well, he has looked to play with more conviction this morning, Graham Gooch, than he did in the Texaco one-day trophy match. You see, he's right on that front foot, good stride forward, very positively into the ball.
Second time that Hughes has done that without any reward, and he's been the best of the new ball attack so far. Good shot, and so far McDermott hasn't posed anywhere near the threat of Hughes.
Well, I'm not surprised either. Lovely shot from Michael Atherton. A bit of width from Craig McDermott. Look, wide outside off stump. It's short of length. Allowing Michael Atherton on the back foot. Lovely balance, you see. Gets right back on his tiptoes and just times it away.
Good shot. Stick that on a video and look at it every time you want to know how to play a proper, really a hook pull shot. Hit it straight down.
Yes, McDermott doesn't often bowl the bouncer. And Gooch, even coming forward, still had plenty of time to just rock back and hit that ball down. In front of square there, that shows the pace of the pitch.
Beautiful stroke. It's a loosener for Merv and also for Graham Gooch.
Yes, that was a fine shot of vintage Gooch. We haven't seen too many of those this season so far. Considering he came in today, and that first two we got off the mark, it was positive. He ran quickly for the two, and he's not very positive as he came in.
71 for no wicket. Good time to say good afternoon to Ian Chappell.
A good time? What's good about it from Australia's point of view, Tony?
He's out. That's what's good about it, I'm afraid. 71 for 1. Atherton goes for 19. Merv Hughes gets his reward. He's really plugged away hard for that. And a very faint downside edge. 71 for 1, the England score.
Now I see why they made you captain of England, Tony. You knew what was going to happen. So Merv Hughes rewarded there for bowling a pretty good line and length. One of the great things about Merv Hughes, he mightn't look the most fashionable fast bowler, but he always seems to get a breakthrough for his skipper. Bit of a nothing shot there from Mike Atherton, playing across the crease rather than either back or forward, and Merv Hughes was pretty pleased to see him go.
Yeah, there's no obvious movement, was there? One could see it was a good effort. He bowled it from wide of the crease. Perhaps Atherton imagined it was slanting in towards him, and that went straight on. Straightforward catch. Great shot. Crisp and square, and Graham Gooch's 50.
Seven boundaries in that 50, and a totally different player to the one that we saw in the one-day series, where he was pushing forward with the foot and then just searching with the bat. But he's been very positive in this innings and played extremely well.
That's a great shot.
Gatting has certainly come to the crease in a very positive frame of mind. That's the second square drive he's played, both of them off the middle of the bat. First one picked out Shane Warne at point. On that occasion, no problem at all with the placement. Shane Warne's variety, apart from the stock leg spinner, he bowls a wrong-un or a googly. He has a top spinner and he also has a flipper.
First ball. Now what's happened? Mike Gatting staying there. The bail is off. He's bowled him. Gatting can't believe it. Dickie Bird, I suppose, can believe it. First ball, lethal.
I think for a moment that Mike Gatting must have felt that it perhaps hit the keeper and went back onto the stumps. It was a perfectly pitched leg spinner, pitching just outside leg with a little bit of curve, and that's a beautiful delivery. It's not a bad one to start with. I can understand Mike Gatting being disbelieving.
that was amazing. It was it just drifted in as leg spinners do, opening up Gatting's right shoulder. You see the shoulder coming open and then zipping back and cracking against the off stump. "80 for 2. Robin Smith comes to the crease. My word, I think I was right. I'd have had this guy on ages ago. Easy from here, but it's an extra dimension, isn't it? Flight, spin, wrist spin, sharp spin. That's all right. Give it some air. As Ian Chappell says, if you bowl with the wrist spin, you've got to take your whacks now and again. It's a good shot down the pitch, but how you come back counts.
And he's done it. Brilliantly done. Two great deliveries have given Warne 2 wickets, one to get Gatting, flicked the off stump, and now Robin Smith taken it slip. That was a classic leg spinner's delivery. Pitched, well, I think the replay might show it, pitched about middle and spun to find the outside edge. Exactly what the leg spinner will plan.
Yes, well, it turned Robin Smith round, pitching about leg stump, I would say, so he had to play at it towards mid-on, and then it spun quite a lot. England had a taste of all these spinners in the winter in India. The ball turning quite sharply at times, but just lateral movement, nothing jumping. And you'll see here that this one just turns quite a lot. Leg stumpish, I would say. Really turns him round.
Graham Hick is the new batsman. Not pitched quite right. And he'd be very disappointed about that, Shane Warne. It's the first time he's shown it. And Hick has struck that beautifully straight down the ground, only a yard from the boundary rope, but he did it without any apparent effort.
Well, this is how he played in India. He looked to be very positive against the spinners, and that's when he was successful.
Picked the wrong one and gave it plenty. End of the over, end of the session, tea, and 2 enthralling sessions of play here. Gooch did that well. 99 for 3, England at tea, and Gooch looking to be in tremendous form. That's a nice comeback for him. Atherton 19, Hughes the man who broke through, and Warne, well, what a start for him in England. 2 wickets, and very, very quickly. 2 for 8 from 5 overs and 3 maidens. McDermott no wickets, Hughes 1, and that is looking very, very good for the Australians at that point. We join play with the second ball after tea. McDermott is the bowler in his 11th over, and Graham Hick is taking strike.
Hundred up for England, and the second 50 coming marginally quicker than the first. Good shot. On this pitch, that's fatal.
McDermott pitching short, doing it width as well, and it bounced quite high, but Graham Hick at 6'4", no real problem for him to get on top of that.
what a delivery that was, and just to see where keeper Healy took it reveals what the problem was. Must have hit the sprinkler head.
Well, this was probably the best delivery bowled by a quick bowler in the match. Good length, good line.
And picked the length of that well. You see, he's been getting to smother the leg spinner Warne, and persuaded him to just bowl it a bit shorter. And the pace of the pitch is such that even somebody like Warne, who pushes it through, gave Hick the room he wanted.
Yes, just short of a length. Leg spinner.
Beautifully placed. You won't see anything better than that.
No, he really is a fine off-side player, Graham Hick. He stands upright, the foot goes right to it. And, well, that's a perfect follow-through, is that? The left elbow nice and high. Yes, straight out of the caution manual.
First one of real width that Graham Gooch has been given.
The point is, did Gooch think that was the googly? Certainly looked like it by the shot he played. Hit the last ball before tea, which was a googly, with that type of shot over wide long on, and I can't believe he didn't think that was a googly.
Now he's getting in a tangle, and this is super stuff. Pitching outside leg stump, covering, look at that, turning nearly 2 feet. Oh, and then out. Looked a full toss, but who can deny Warne anything, because he's bowled brilliantly. But what a body blow for England. Gooch out for 65 and 123 now for 4.
I think Graham Gooch had been set in his mind to play forward to Shane Warne, and then suddenly this full toss comes kind of way up on the bat. Well, maybe he just didn't hit that high up the bat. Certainly didn't hit the middle of the bat, but you could see he'd already made his mind up to play forward. And sometimes when you're doing that, you don't hit the bat ball too well. Been a good innings by the captain. He's looking much better form, more positive. And it's certainly just what England needed. But certainly the game's back in even Stevens now.
New batsman Alex Stewart, and he's coming to the wicket because of the loss of his captain.
Well, I reckon that carried only just. But Hick has been tormented in this over. He's been finding the inside edge, bottom edge. That one went, I think, very low down, but straight to point. Steve Waugh is the man.
Beautifully bowled, turned and spun. See how difficult it is for Alex Stewart. He's used to playing the seam bowlers first before he gets to the spinners. And then he plays the spinners quite well, but it's a different ball game when you have to actually start on naught not out against a spinner turning the ball.
It's unusual. I have a feeling that might just have flicked his glove.
It looks as if it's gone from bat, pad to bat.
He's got that away over extra cover. Probably premeditated. Although there was just a sliver of a chance he was beaten in the flight.
Well, it was a daring shot, this. It is a favourite area of Alex Stewart's, to use his feet, get down the pitch and hit it through or over extra cover. But with the ball turning away from him, you'd better be sure he gets right to the pitch.
A variety of garb, but his cricket matches. That's very well bowled. Beat him in the flight. Captain at this moment will be trying to think of other field placings that might work. Does he need a man close in on the leg side? But he's got it just about right at the moment. He's got 3 men in catching position. Slip, silly point himself, and then the man at short cover. Shot for 4. That's a lovely stroke from Graham Hick. Was just short. Not all that much, but just enough. And Hick picked it up very quickly.
Just a little bit of width. By the time it turns, you see, it's a good 12 inches outside off stump. It rocks back nicely, Graham Hick. Just times it well.
Successive boundaries. 2 good strokes by Graham Hick.
This is down the leg side. Hick picks it well. Lovely sweep shot.
Oh, brilliant catch. It was a trap ball. It was short, it was wide, it asked to be belted. It was belted. And Alan Border held onto it. Perhaps going away to his strong left hand, but that was a terrific catch.
Looked as though there may have been just a little bit of top edge there as Hick was trying to roll his wrists and hit the ball into the ground. Perhaps that's one reason why it didn't travel quite so quickly and gave Border the chance to leap into the air and take the catch.
Chris Lewis is the new batsman. Alex Stewart picked that up very cleanly.
Stewart has displayed better footwork than probably anybody else against Shane Warne. And the ball's short, he's getting back and dealing with it. And when he's come forward, he's come quite a long way forward.
That's very well played, in fact, by Chris Lewis. You can see what Merv is trying to do. Slant the ball in, make it lift a little bit towards the rib cage. But this time it's runs. Cracking shot. Really, I think Hughes has overplayed his hand a little bit here. As I said, once you plant a message in the batsman's mind, you can play the alternative game and pitch the ball up and catch him by surprise. But it's got a little predictable, I feel. Good footwork. And a lofted drive. That's a very positive move by Alex Stewart.
On that occasion, he's come the full 3 paces out of his crease. Excellent footwork.
Oh, Tania! Oh, brilliant! What a sensational catch. That was brilliant. What is a reflex stop, first of all, and that was the plan. The plan worked. David Boone flipped the ball up and then turned and almost chased and dived. The ball dropped away from him.
I've seen David Boone make quite a few catches in this bat pad region, but I haven't seen him make many better ones than that.
Julian's first Test wicket. England now in trouble, 178 for 7.
Well, that was a classical left arm over the wicket delivery, swinging in to the right-handed batsman. De Freitas just shuffling across the wicket. Probably hitting about leg and middle. The only thing the umpire had to look for there was the ball pitching outside leg stump.
New batsman Andrew Carrick. Oh, beautifully bowled. Big swinger. That really was gorgeous piece of swing bowling. Stewart goes for 27, and that's England's last chance of getting anything over 200, you would think. 183 for 8.
I think it looks a little bit of a loose shot by Alex Stewart as well, but in his mind would be thinking of playing a few shots, trying to pick a few runs up quickly. But a good delivery as well.
Julian's got this ability to swing the ball back into the right-handers, and that's priceless, because if there's the slightest bit of gap, that happens. Peter Such, the new batsman. And he's given him. Has he given him? No, he's given leg byes. Certainly the hand came out. That brings the 200 up. Big appeal for LBW. Umpire Palmer's right hand started to come out as though he'd given him out. But the batsman can breathe again.
One more run added to take England up to 202 for 8 at stumps. Not at batsman Carrick 6 and Such on 9. 65 to Gooch, 19 to Atherton, 34 to Hick, who I thought played very well today, and 27 to Stewart. And the bowling figures for Australia: McDermott wicketless, Hughes 3 for 52, did a terrific job, Julian 2 for 30, and Warne, his first bowl in a Test match in England, 21 overs, 7 maidens, and 3 for 51. Second over now, with 1 run added. Shane Warne, the leg spinner, is bowling, and Andrew Carrick is taking straight. Straight up in the air, wicket-keeper's catch, and another one for Shane Warne. Well, that wasn't quite what Andrew Carrick had in mind when he went out to bat. You can be guaranteed that. The lift of the eyes to the heavens would underline that point. Shane Warne has another one. Very important wicket, because it's just stopped this partnership pushing along into a dangerous area.
Yes, it is right across against the spin. As I did say, I think these two batsmen would have been far better changing ends. Such against the leg spin and Carrick against the quickies. Unfortunately, it didn't work out that way, and Shane Warne got it to Carrick straight away. And that was the result. So another one for Shane Warne, and what a good test he's having.
Good shot. Peter Such has done the right thing straight away. He has a good appreciation of Phil Tufnell's batting ability, and he needs to get what he can.
I think also his own batting ability against the quicker bowlers. He was giving himself rather a bit of room there. Did well to reach it at the finish. Well, I'm not sure Peter Such knows which way to go to get out of the way of the ball.
Well, on the score of numbers, he's due to stay exactly where he's standing for the next one.
Well, it's a good job there's not a short leg in there. It'd trample him to death.
There goes, and last man out, Phil Tufnell. Just took evasive action there. It didn't look as though that got up anywhere near the amount he thought it would. And he has gone. The England innings is complete on 210. 79 the lead for Australia. Deserved wicket for Merv Hughes, who's bowled very well all the way through. And an outstanding performance from Shane Warne. Well, that's a very good performance by the Australians to knock over those last 2 wickets this morning. 210 all out England, with Peter Such. He's having a good match, isn't he? 6 wickets on debut and then unbeaten on 14. The bowling figures for the Australians: Warne and Hughes each 4 wickets, 4 for 59 for Hughes and 4 for 51 for Shane Warne. And the situation in the match, the Australians are 79 runs ahead. We join play now in the first over. It's 3 for no wicket. And coming into bowl is Andrew Carrick. Taking strike is Mark Taylor.
Well, that's let Taylor know he's about. My word, that was a pretty spectacular delivery.
Well, this is better bowling, isn't it? Quick and straight, making the batsman take evasive action. That's what you want. No good bowling bounces too high or too wide of the batsman, so he doesn't have to really take evasive action.
That is a big shout. England do need a wicket. May have got a fingertip to that. It won't make any difference.
Beautiful shot. Love the way that Mark Taylor waited for the ball. It's quite a slow pitch. Just waited, picked the gap square on the offside. Yes, Peter Such has come on now. I think that's a very strong and positive move by Graham Gooch. It's the 9th over of the innings, so he's come on extremely early, 22 for no wicket. That's the end from which the wickets have fallen to spin. Oh, that must be close. And that's out. Very well up. It might actually have caught Mark Taylor without bouncing. It certainly moved across in front of his stumps to play the shot, and remember that Peter Such was bowling over the wickets from close. He had a very good chance of the flight going wicket to wicket, but Mark Taylor's gone. LBW bowls Such for 9, and the first wicket has fallen for 23.
It wasn't a full-blooded sweep from Mark Taylor. I think he was just trying to guide it around to a fine leg. Ball just curving a little there and hitting the back pad. So I think that's a pretty fair decision from umpire Palmer. It certainly wasn't pitching outside leg stump. Taylor really missing the ball on the full.
That looked a long haul for Mike Gatting. Again, Mike Gatting has to sprint. Now, Chris Lewis might have got a fingertip to that. There's a lot of field out there for Gat at mid-on.
A few flecks of grey in that beard too that Gat's sporting. Some very good footwork with his first chase. The captain now perhaps taking a bit of pity on him.
That's a bad ball, well dispatched by David Boone. Really, Phil Tufnell is drifting the ball across. No sign of the sharp turn required if he's to bowl that line. And may well need a chap to the captain to change the line more towards off stump.
That's good footwork. No shortage of confidence from Slater.
Just a little bit straight again there, Peter Search, that allows him to whip it through mid-wicket.
And he's gone. Such has his second wicket. Slater is caught by Carrick at mid-on. Down the track, trying to loft over the top. And he'll have plenty of time to think about whether or not that was a good thing to attempt.
Well, there was nobody out on the boundary. It's a free hit if you can hit it, but on this type of pitch where the ball sometimes turns, sometimes doesn't, you've got to get right to it and hit it in the middle of the bat, and that's not always easy. That occasion he didn't quite time it right, and a very comfortable catch there for Carrick at mid-on.
9 more runs added to take the Australians up to 55 for 2 at lunch on the third day. Slater out for 27, Taylor for 9. Such has both wickets. He's certainly having a good match. And Boone is 15 not out. And Mark Waugh is unbeaten on 4. The Australian lead 134. England's bowling figures. Just 2 wickets there for 11 runs from 8 overs and 3 maidens for Such, and 4 other bowlers used. We join play now in the third over after lunch. 3 runs have been added, and it's Carrick bowling to Mark Waugh.
No need to run. 4 of them.
Well, Mark Waugh showing a great deal of patience, waiting for the bad ball, and then putting it away quite nicely.
Great shot. Made by the footwork.
Well, lovely cricket by David Boone. He's obviously been waiting and waiting for the right ball, and then he's picked it beautifully. Lovely chassé of the feet, the gap, hit it crisply, not too hard. Super timing.
That's a fine shot. I really aimed there, he cracked it straight. Ah, it's an extremely good shot, that, right to the pitch.
Looked as though David Boone may have even been intending to hit that one over the top.
Oh, well timed. It hopped up off that artificial pitch, that cover. Chase for Mike Gatting. And a huge effort to throw. Now that was a certain 4, really. The ball hit space, but it jammed against the side of that artificial pitch and hopped up in the air.
Mike Gatting had actually given up the chase. He conceded that it was 4 from the moment it was hit. You'll see him here. He's just going to turn and jog after the ball, and suddenly it hits the edge of the pitch. And that revives Gatting's hopes, and he tears off after it.
Well, for a moment, English hopes soared there as David Boone sauntered down the pitch. And De Freitas, of course, very athletically follows through. Oops. How close was that? Third umpire job, I think, but it might well have gone. Well, loose ball, but beautifully put away. And that's Test cricket. Bowler ball it short and wide, and suddenly you hear the classical ring of the bat, and it fires away through the covers. 50 partnership, 99 for 2. Oops, and that went and lifted. Well, where's that one been all day? And 178 for 2, effectively, the Australian score. That can't be good news for England.
Just Phil Tufnell just seemed to slow up his run up a little bit there, and he got really good flight on that delivery. That's the Phil Tufnell that we saw in Australia a couple of seasons ago.
Lovely stroke. Beautifully played, with the spin, classical. Robert Smith turned, but the ball was going faster and faster away from him across the boundary rope.
Tufnell has reverted to the quicker run-up there and the quicker delivery, and he's just not the same bowler with a quick run-up.
And again, now you can tell the man when he's really in, because he knows instinctively where the gaps in the field are waiting. Very rarely now hitting a fielder, lying back and waiting and just knowing exactly where to penetrate the covers.
One overthrow there. Only 3 men on the onside for Tufnell to walk. Good running again. Caddick, the fielder, good powerful arm, and he moved well to the ball. That was beautifully placed by Mark Waugh, who already at Edgbaston has shown us how well he places the ball. Oh, how did that get through without hitting the stumps?
Well, it's one of the few that Peter Such didn't turn, I think. It just went straight on. It never really turned at all. It was a poor shot from Mark Waugh. First indiscreet shot he's played this afternoon. He's been very solid and compact, patient.
It's a cracking stroke. The others Lewis has been bowling there. Waugh's been trying to smash them, and he hasn't made contact with one. He just waited for that, just picked it up and helped it on its way past square leg.
Yeah, it's a lovely controlled short arm pull. Not much follow through, not much backlift. Control was there, where the rest of the time he's been trying to smite them hard and hit them as far as he could, and he's missed every one till that short arm pull.
Waugh dealt with that beautifully. That's a terrific hit. not dissimilar to the one earlier in the over, except he hit it upwards and at the same time brought up his half century. The Australian lead is over 200 now.
Well, Chris Lewis telegraphed his intent to Mark Waugh. It was a gift delivery that took him to his half century. Okay to have a bit of aggression as a bowler against the batsman when you want to pick your pitches. This is not exactly the surface to keep bouncing a batsman on and a batsman that's in.
Put it down. Was going for 4 at a terrific pace. Robin Smith has dived away to his right and just got his hand to it.
Well, a controlled square cut from Mark Waugh, trying to get over the top of it and help it away, but he just got it to the right of Robin Smith, and he made an acrobatic attempt. A good effort.
This might be trouble with the hits, but no. Second time that there's been a chance of a run out. It was Boone in the first place when De Freitas missed, and this one of Mark Waugh must have been some sort of chance had it hit. Tight enough, but probably the batsman just about made it. There we are, there's the Super Tram, which is the old Warwick Road station. Full perhaps of England supporters who are going somewhere else at the moment. And well after that shot.
Well, that was a shot of a batsman growing in confidence, getting confidence in the pitch. That was on the up. The weight was on the front foot, but it was really just short of a length. Hitting the ball at the top of the bounce. It wasn't a half volley. 4 runs though.
One ball and over at least at the moment. You wonder, Raymond, just how long Graham Gooch can let this go.
Well, they can't really get it going any longer. The position they're now getting themselves into. Again, it was a good shot. Width was the thing there. It was short of a half volley, goodish length, but hitting the ball at the top of the bounce again. Wasn't a half volley, you can see that, but weight on the front foot, on the up, and that is showing a lot of confidence now.
And that's the 100 partnership. Both these batsmen now looking well set as the tea interval approaches. Well, that's the way to greet him. Made up his mind almost as such, set off to bowl. Super footwork.
Well, it was a little bit risky because it was a bit down leg side. If that had just turned a fraction more, Carrick, who was out at deep square just behind, that could well have gone to him. See, there's really no spin there at all. If that had just turned a little, that would have gone squarer, and that could have been a catch. And been very annoyed with himself then, having not had a look at search from this end first.
Well, Mark Waugh's playing a terrific innings, and so is David Boone, of a different sort. Again, he set himself out to anchor this innings, put his side out of reach. Still play shots like that. It's going to be tight. Well, this has been Australia's day, utterly and completely. Lovely placement and use of the wrists. got himself into a real tangle, did Waugh, and right on the stroke of tea, 2 or 3 minutes to go. Now let's see if that ball pitched outside the stumps or not, because if it did, then really that was unforgivable for Waugh to leave room for the ball to go into the stumps, playing that sort of shot just before the interval. But good bowling, and out for 64. It's been a good innings, and 155 for 3.
Well, it certainly pitched well outside the leg stump. I mean, that's pitching a foot outside. Probably just went off the pad like we've been talking about, and it's in the off stump. That's a poor shot. To try and hit with a straight bat, wide of mid-on, a ball pitching a foot outside leg stump almost. Well, that's a bad shot. Very risky. Admittedly, it's the first ball that Tufnell's really got in the right place. It's turned, but it's still a poor shot. A risky shot, and a shot that should not really have been played at any time, but especially just before tea.
Alan Border coming into as near a perfect a match situation as any captain could want. The side 234 in front, still plenty in the pitch. And there we are, that ball pitching several inches outside leg stump to hit the top of off stump there. That really was an eccentric piece of batting by a young man who'd done most things right so well this afternoon. Look of disgust as he turns away.
Yeah, I think it probably just hit the knee of his right leg, and that's probably what went onto the off stump then.
Splendid innings.
Difficult for the left-hander when he first comes in. Men round the bat, all pitched into that rough. Not easy.
Not asking, but I think more excitement than anything else.
You can see he got just outside the line of off stump. Probably hit the stumps. He was playing a shot, otherwise that could have been out.
Just before tea, but that's the answer. Because Alan Border got off the mark in pretty exciting fashion in the first innings, hitting one over the top.
Yes, Alan Border won't be dictated to, but he's got to take a chance coming straight in anything out of the rough. Just got too wide for the rough there, did Phil Tufnell. That gave him a chance to hit it through cover.
159 for 3 at tea for Australia. Slater out for 27 and Taylor for 9. Mark Waugh for 64. The unbeaten men, Boone on 48. And Border just had to face those 2 balls. He's unbeaten on 4. And the bowling figures for England, a good performance there once again from Such. 16 overs, 4 maidens and 2 for 33. We join play now in the second over after the tea interval. 3 runs have been added. Tufnell is the bowler and David Boone is taking strike. Fielded.
It's an extraordinary shot. See the ball's pitching outside leg stump. He's trying to run away and cut it. Very, very dangerous shot. See the arms of Philip Tufnell. He knew how near it was to a wicket. A surprising experienced batsman like Davy Boone.
And 50 to David Boone. Very, very good cricketer for Australia. Just got a couple there. Just so Boone checked his shot a little bit there. Last moment, hitting across the spin. Still kept it down.
Well, it was good, thoughtful batting. You've always got to be careful on these slow-turning pitches. You can't just go in and try and play full-blooded shots all the time. You've got to be prepared to stop your shot and just push it carefully, time it. most important asset of all is patience. Beautifully bowled and played. That was very watchful by David Boone. The ball turned from out of the rough, but he waited, stopped his shot. Well, it happens to everybody at some time or another, and it's quite embarrassing. Seems quite simple, and it is. It just lets the pressure off the batsman. That's what's infuriating for the bowler and the captain setting fields.
No chance of such getting that. You do have to bowl very accurately if you're going to bowl it outside the line of leg stump. It has to go into the rough, not away out there.
The scoreboard is mounting in Australia's favour, and England need a wicket. I always keep saying that on these sort of pitches in particular, one wicket could precipitate a mini collapse.
And there's been a lot of attack of leg stump on outside. Mike Gatting, the fielder. Andrew Caddick. Lovely throw. And that's what England must do. They must keep their standards, whatever they're trying to do. A throw from the boundary, a stop anywhere, you simply have to keep your standards up and your spirits up.
That brings up the 200. It's come off 71 overs, so a run rate of nearly 3. The England bowlers have got 3 wickets so far. 2 to Such and 1 to Tufnell. Well, a blast from the past, or one from the present, or they hope for the future. The pattern of this innings suddenly seems almost inevitable. So much of this match, the batsmen have struggled away and fought it out, and here they're just picking off 1s and 2s, not quite as they want them, but too regularly, certainly for England's comfort. Nicely controlled sweep from Border. Didn't want to put too much bat on it because of the Andrew Caddick, the man down there, a deep fine leg, just enough to get a run. That's all he wanted. Just not trying to hit it hard at all, just help it on its way. Boone now in little trouble, just picking them off. It was a day that always could go Australia's way if they could wrap up England, which they did, and avoid too many disasters at the top of the order, which they have. The pitch getting better for batting, then really they've clamped down on this match.
Cracking shot. Made 21 in the first innings, David Byrne, before he was caught at slip off the off-spinner Peter Such.
Nice shot there. He's picked his spot. A very slow off-spinner is Graham Hick. Lots of loop.
It's 221 for 3 now, and the lead is exactly 300. That's perfectly timed. When he played that, when it left the bat, I reckon for a moment that he hadn't got it right off the meat.
Lovely feet movement. Both batsmen in, particularly David Boone.
Spun that sharply, going around the wicket. First ball he's bowled to Alan Border from that end. Really gripped.
Yeah, it's a beautiful, slightly quicker ball too.
Well, that one certainly gripped from Graham Hick to Alan Border, went past the outside edge. Border still there on 29 and Boone on 85, and with 4 runs added, the total at the end of the day for Australia, 231 for 3. The bowling figures for England: Such 2 for 51 and Tufner 1 for 63. The rest, well, they didn't get past the outside edge too much. And the state of play at the close of the third day, Australia 289 ball of the morning, and facing him is the Australian captain, Alan Border.
Now then. Well, well, well. You won't get anything much more straightforward than that.
Yes, it's beautiful height for catching, and I said earlier on that it's so important that England get a wicket. If they get another wicket then, well, they're into the lower order batting, and you never know, you could bowl people out the lead of 350.
Well, it wasn't costly in the end. No sort of shot at all from Alan Border, and that's Andrew Caddick's first Test wicket.
Well, that's a relief for Graham Hick. I think it was mainly his catch rather than the wicket-keepers. Hasn't been costly. Just the odd run. And really Caddick looking to do Border a bit on pace here. Short, and he's just in his own half, looking to play the pull shot. He wasn't quick enough onto it, he's high up the bat. A really very comfortable catch for a nice caught and bowl. And that'll give that young man some confidence, and if he could bowl well, he is a good bowler, there's no doubt about it. He has spells when he suddenly gets 5 and 6 wickets, and well, Graham Gooch should be hoping he could do that this morning.
That's a bad ball. David Boone's a good all-round batsman, but if he has a favourite shot, it's that one.
Yes, he just played this shot absolutely beautiful. I mean, he just goes onto the back foot, perfectly still with the head, and just clubs it away. Plays it absolutely superb.
Steve Warnow. Oh, just look at this for the bounce. I would have thought this might happen with a new ball.
Yes, that was banged in short of a length, roughly halfway down the pitch, but oh, look where Stewart took that.
He's got him in trouble. He really is working him over. Don't the crowd love it?
Oh, it's a very hostile piece of bowling, is this? I don't think Steve Waugh's ever really fancied the short stuff too much, and Andrew Carrick's certainly trying him out with the short of a length. Not bouncers. The ability to get the ball up there from halfway down, and that's good bowling.
Clear made. Pressure off. That gets Waugh off the mark and going. Well, he was off the mark before, but first boundary.
Well, all the Aussies love to play that shot, and unless you can get bounced like Carrick's been getting from that city end, you really have to bowl a full length to the Australian batsman.
And he's gone. The Freitas has struck, Boone is gone. And just like chalk and cheese, England yesterday afternoon and England this morning, completely different approach. And they've picked up the wickets of those two batsmen who did so well yesterday. Michael Gatting, man out at cover. Freitas the bowler, and 93 for Boone.
Well, it's a lovely innings by David Boone, but it's a funny old game when you play so well one day, and then next day you hit it straight at cover. Driving on the up a little bit.
Ian Healy is the new batsman. As suddenly the whole face of the game has changed. Not going to please Carrick very much.
Well, it was the right idea to let him have a short ball, I'm sure, but it's too much on the offside, you see. Allows Ian Healy to sort of slice it away over what would have been about third or fourth slip. You really want to get it very straight at him.
Well, that's loose. Steve Waugh didn't waste any time with that. Even though it wasn't a good delivery, it was still perfectly placed and hit with tremendous power off the back foot.
Well, this is a gift delivery, not only a gift delivery for four, but it certainly doesn't give Robin Smith confidence, feeling it silly point on the offside.
You can't bowl there. Candy to kids.
Yes, Chris Lewis has been quite wayward this match. He's had no real control, and you can see that's a half volley going down the leg side, and that's where every batsman likes it.
Ian Healy is the batsman, Chris Lewis bowling. In the air, but that's wide through that gap where third slip might have been. And that really went quickly. 4 runs.
Well, again, the Aussies always looking to play the square cut. On this occasion, he got the ball with sufficient bounce, as I've said before. It's got to be above waist high, and you have a chance of getting the edge. And, well, if England had been on top, there'd probably been an extra man in there, and that could have been a wicket.
A big shout there. Well, that would have to have straightened quite a bit.
It's a little optimistic. Ian Healy loves to sweep and cut.
Well, it did straighten, but Healy a long way down the track there.
And there's 4 runs. Lovely footwork. Ian Chappell with me, and now Australia's starting to go well, Ian.
Yes, they've got 2 ideal players out there to get move on. Steve Waugh Good stroke maker, terrific runner between wickets, and he'll get good support from Ian Healy.
That was bat onto that from Pad. It sounded as though it was Pad first.
It did fly very quickly and really didn't give Robin Smith much chance when he's only a couple of yards from the bat. Flew very quickly and low.
And there's Moore, the quickest man in the sides after it, but no impact. Takes the score to 317 and the lead to 396.
Steve Waugh's footwork a lot better in the second innings than it was in the first innings. Very quickly onto that delivery. It was just a touch short.
You're bowling over the wicket and you give a batsman that sort of room, then you've got a problem, and that's 50 and a very good one.
This is the great value of Steve Waugh in the Australian side, batting at number 6. If the other batsman can get Australia into a good position, Steve Waugh can really capitalise on it by scoring quickly.
4 more runs added to take the Australians along to 345 for 5 at lunch on this 4th day. Steve Waugh 53, Ian Healy 44. A very strong position for them. They're 424 ahead at the moment. And the bowling figures for England: Caddick 1 for 56, bowled extremely well this morning. Plenty of fire there. De Freitas 1 for 52, Such 2 for 78, and Philip Tufnell 1 for 80. We join play now in the 3rd over after lunch. 8 runs have already been added. Caddick is the bowler and Healy is taking strike. Slow ball, and Healy picked it very quickly. 50 for Ian Healy. Good knock.
Thoroughly well played. Yeah, just reward a good hand from the crowd. He's a gutsy little fighter, unorthodox, not pretty maybe, but he does get some very good late order runs for his country.
It's the first time he's pulled that one out of his repertoire. He loves to cut and to pull and hook.
Well, it was a good shot. Good attempt by Robin Smith at square leg. But everything going for Australia at the moment.
And Lewis is very, very quick. But even so, they've played it to the fastest man in the field, and they've still got through. That's good cricket. Lewis again. Oh, that is brilliant. Lewis was alive to it. He came racing in. He gets a grin from Atherton, who's also been done by this pair between the wickets.
The way Steve Waugh drops the ball, though, it's absolutely brilliant.
Good stroke. Goes for Gooch. Don't believe it. Run 4. Well. You wouldn't feel too happy if you were the fielder chasing from rather deepish mid-off. You've pulled it up inside the boundary and have gone through for the 4th run.
Well, De Freitas almost ground to a halt then as he went back to his run beginning. right between them. Absolutely, that's the way the game is going. So I don't know why De Freitas is really taking so long about it. When you give 10 and over, it's giving enough away.
Yes, the attempt to bouncer about chest high, and Healy pretty quickly onto it, did it well. Only couldn't have placed that better. The field was almost colliding, but just bisecting them both.
That's his shot, one of them.
Well, as a wicketkeeper, you don't get too many opportunities to get a century. And he certainly has a good opportunity now. He's playing well, the pitch is playing quite good. Certainly he's playing better than at any time during this match.
What a way to get there. What a way to get there. No wonder. Look at that. Rodney Marsh was the last Australian wicketkeeper to get 100. Proud moment for him. And a wonderful innings, Jeff.
Oh, top-class performance. 2 wickets went quickly and cheaply this morning. And there was just a possibility that England might have run through the Australian tail, and but Australia wouldn't have got the big total they wanted. But this man came in, and together with Steve Waugh, he changed the course of the declaration.
We think it'll be within the next 10 minutes. Bobby Simpson with him. In fact, it might even be now. And it is. England aren't aware of it. Gooch perhaps doesn't want to hear about it. In fact, he was just talking to Peter Such about where would he want his field. And that gives a victory target of 5-1-2, which, as near as you'd never get anything academic in cricket, that certainly is for England. That's a wonderful innings, and Steve Waugh pushing him forward. Waugh's also played his part with a very stylish 78. But that's a top-draw effort from Ian Healy.
432 for 5 at the declaration, with Ian Healy 102 not out and Steve Waugh 78. A great partnership between those two, not least because of the splendid running between the wickets, and Border and Boone out earlier in the day. The bowling figures for England, nothing to write home about there, but Such and Tufnell did most of the work again today. I thought Caddick bowled a very good early spell, finished up with 1 for 79 in 20 overs, and De Freitas also had a wicket. And the match situation, when England took strike for the second time in this game, they needed 512 runs to win. We join play now in the third over of their innings. It's 7 for no wicket. McDermott is the bowler, and Gooch is taking strike. He's still slanting away on the leg side there, and it's costly.
Craig McDermott had an operation, a groin operation, before he came on this tour. I think he's fully recovered from that, but he may be suffering a little bit in a couple of other regions.
Very good stroke. Half volley on leg stump. So both bowlers have strayed down the leg side and made life easier for the two batsmen.
You see there that Gooch is in a very positive frame of mind about his batting, which is a good way to approach a big target. But the problems might come for Graham Gooch when Shane Warne is brought into the attack.
Safe. An involuntary stroke. I don't think there was too much was deliberate about it. In the end, he guided it nicely.
Banged in short, and got big on Gooch. I don't think he quite expected getting so high, and difficult to say how much he played that and how much he left it alone at the finish. I think he was just trying to leave it alone at the finish, actually, and it hit the bat.
That's a good start for England, 27 for no wicket, with Gooch doing the bulk of the scoring, 20 not out, and Atherton on 5. We join it after tea. It's the second ball of the first over. Hughes is the bowler, and Atherton is on straight.
A couple.
I think Ian Chappell made a point, which I think was very valid, about Mike Atherton, that since seeing him in Australia when he was playing well, that he does feel that sometimes he just forgets to make runs. And he can play shots, and it's not just about occupying the crease, although that is very important for England in this second innings.
Like that. Well, his memory's back.
Yes, that'll do him the world of good. And I say, you play better playing normal cricket, scoring runs, if you're just trying to occupy the crease. That's a good shot. He got onto the back foot, cracked that away just behind square. That used to be one of his best shots. We haven't seen him play too many of late, and yeah, I'll feel better for that.
That's hit him. That's really getting a peppering. Sort of treatment that Caddick gave to Steve Waugh. It was a shadow catch, so it was in the air for a while, but wide, and certainly firmly hit. That's the 50 coming in the 12th.
Well, it was a valiant effort by Cover to try. It did go in there. You could see he had to dive and dive forward as well. Been a miraculous catch if he managed to make it. Almost impossible.
And that's exactly the sort of area that he's aiming for. Not too short, but short enough to induce the false stroke off the back foot. And Gooch was in trouble here.
Yes, it got him tucked up, and if the short leg had been right onto square, he could probably just have caught that with a diving catch.
Well, here we are. It's almost been like waiting for a ticking time bomb to go off, and I'm sure there'll be one or two anxious players in the England dressing room who will think, now then, is he going to get off to the same start as before?
Well, we can see it certainly turning. That did 3 or 4 inches. And whilst he did spin that first ball in the first innings, I don't think he gave that quite as big a tweak as that the first one to get him.
Oh, that was close on that turn, and it really looked at nothing more. It looked a bit on the short side, but there was no footwork there, and came through a little quicker.
May well have been the flipper, I think. Yes, you can see how that one comes underneath. Even though it was the flipper, it did just turn a little bit.
Well, that flashed away. It's very difficult to see whether it was a misfield or not. It went across that rough area, just square of the wicket on the offside, some old creases there.
I think Slater decided to try and dive to take the catch. There were screams of catch it. And Slater decided to make every effort to catch it.
That looked to be the googly, which was read by Graham Gooch. He played on the inside of it. Lovely stroke. It looked to be the googly, and he played on the inside as if it was an off-spinner. Straight through extra cover. 4 runs.
He's been driving very confidently in this match, Graham Gooch. No searching for the ball as he did in the one-dayers. That was a lovely shot. He just leant on it. The timing was exquisite. So I think that's the sort of delivery that got Mike Gatting. Perhaps that one pitched a touch wider than the one that spun back and got Gatting.
Australia now pressing for this first wicket.
outfield is very fast now.
Atherton preferring to play that ball square rather than through the covers. Hit it just behind point. Gooch, as on the onside, he prefers to play in front of the wicket. Atherton there just opening the blade so the ball goes square.
Yes, that's the short single. It's almost come as a huge relief because in that sort of deadlock, either the ball has gone for 4 or just nothing, and it's extremely important, the batting partnership, that the strike rotates. It asks the bowler different questions. The field placings have to be adjusted slightly.
Brendan Julian is going to come on to Stretford end. A few overs from him, and then it would be Merv Hughes after that. Good shot. Beat the man at point. One thing about it that will have pleased Julian, and the only thing you could be pleased about if you've been struck before, is that it swung. Two beautiful strokes this over from Gooch. They're both pretty much in the slot, but wonderfully well played. Oh, well bowled. Beautifully bowled. That's a classic for Warne. Any leg spinner who's played Test match cricket would be absolutely delighted with that type of dismissal. He's drawn the batsman into the stroke, just a little bit of drift in the air from off towards leg, and then he's found the outside edge.
And the ball was really spun as well. Pitched roughly round about the off stump, just outside it. Atherton didn't do a lot wrong there. The left hand was well forward, the back handle well pushed forward, but the ball still carried to slate.
Shane Warne, he's playing in his 12th Test match, and the man coming in now is Mike Gatting. A good over. 73 for 1 now. Michael Slater was the fielder there. No one was going for a single, not at first anyway. He's not going to be well pleased. I can bet you that Healy wasn't either. To Graham Gooch. He struck the ball beautifully. Looks confident. Very important innings. Second time at bat for England.
Yes, he's looked much better in this match. He looked very positive in the first innings, and he's continued in that vein. And well, let's hope from England's point of view he can keep going for a long time.
Nice and fast today, so roar down there signifies that that has beaten Steve Waugh to the boundary. Another 8 from this second over of Brendan Julian's. .65 and 55 for Gooch. Only one of them went on to make it a century. 62 and 154 for Ranji in 1896. 4 for Garrick. Mike Gatting has had plenty of experience against leg spin. He came out to Australia and played with the Balmain club in Sydney for several seasons. And there's a leg spinner in every grade club in Sydney.
This is the point that I made about Gatting. It's the ball very square on the offside, that open face bat, rather than towed in. Everything is goes square on the offside.
That also will go to the boundary. There's 16 runs have come from 4 balls from Julian and Shane Warne. 8 of them to Gooch and 8 to Gatting.
Well, that was the flipper. Didn't quite get it right at his arm, but Gatting got right on top of it.
Beaten the offside field. The outfield is fast. It'll beat border as well. That's another good stroke from Gooch. Very important for England to try to get on top of Warne.
Yes, this is the kind of delivery that the batsmen were looking to score off. The short one, with enough time to adjust and play the shot.
Oh, my goodness. He can't believe it.
Well, it was actually a humdinger of a delivery. Look how it turned as well. That must be 12 inches outside off stump. An absolute beauty. It was more luck than management, was this. As it beat him, he certainly didn't read it that well, Graham Gooch.
That's a fine shot from Gooch, because sometimes when his footwork's not right, he gets the front leg too far over and plays round it. But that one was perfect.
Well, you can see here why he's playing so well. Lovely foot movement. Doesn't try to hit it too hard. Shows the full face of the bat and just clipped it firmly. Lovely stride and head right over the front knee.
Remarkable boundary count for Graham Gooch. 15 for 60 runs out of those 74 he hasn't had to run for. Oh, dear me. As close as you can get without actually being out.
Well, it's probably the first time in the match the catch hasn't gone for Australia. Played this poorly, did Mike Gatting. He got confused as whether to block it or to leave it. In the end, it just pised up, look, off the bat and was nearly caught by the diving Silly Mid-off.
And this time, Gatting having none of it. Try it again with a short one, and that's what happens. Well, it's great stuff. This is really Test cricket at its best.
Well, it's all been happening today. Mike Gatting's always been a good puller. I'm sure he set himself up for that, knowing that Merv Hughes would certainly give him another one, if not the next ball. Within a couple, he would certainly get a short ball again.
That brought up the 50 partnership. Knew that was coming. That 50 partnership came off 67 balls. And the crowd love little personal battles like this, and that's what it's become. Gatting was nearly bounced out. He knew that he was going to be worked over, and that's his answer. He's got it.
Well, money for old rope, isn't it? Short, outside stump, just sat up and said, hit me. And Graham Gooch in this form has whacked it.
Now, the extra little bit of spice with the final delivery of the day being faced by Mike Gatting. Be rest assured that he'll be pressured. Border will be back at bat pad. And bowled him, and bowled him. Well, well, well. We painted a picture about Hughes and Gatting. Was he expecting a short one? No matter. And suddenly, and there is Gatting's reaction, the whole balance of the game changes in that one ball, the final delivery of the day. Please can I have my hat back? And what a wicket, and what a delivery. And that's the end of Gatting. England now 133 for 2. What a dramatic end to a dramatic day.
Well, it's a superb piece of thoughtful bowling. There's been that little byplay of the short balls by Merv Hughes, and I'm sure it was on Mike Gatting's mind, probably thinking to himself, shall I pull it or just get out of the way if it's short? He never quite got forward, the feet never really moved. I think he might have been expecting a short ball that he'd try and just get out of the way of because it was the last ball of the day. But well thought out, Merv Hughes, beautifully bowled, and it just ends a splendid cricket day.
It certainly was a great day to go with the other three very good ones we've had. Gooch is 82 not out there, played a splendid innings. He's bang back in form. Atherton 25 and Gatting 23. 133 for 2, and the bowling for the Australians. McDermott none for 33. Hughes a wicket. He's very expensive, but the enforcer was there once again for Alan Border. And Shane Warne is still the danger man for England. Bowled really well again today. 12 over 6 maidens, 1 for 24. And the state of the game at the end of the... McDermott is the bowler, and Robin Smith is taken straight. There's that man. That'll go all the way.
Well, that's the line again, just slightly full. Did a bit of play there by Robin Smith. I think he just had to come down a little bit quick, and it just really ran off the bat. He wasn't playing it in that area.
Well, it was chaos all round.
Well, the last thing England wanted to run out, and this would certainly have been tight if they'd gone. Bush was going to go and wisely said no. As it happens, with the collision, they'd have been perfectly all right.
And as a little side issue to that, you'd have to ask yourself why Gooch was looking for such a dangerous single off the last ball, and it would be to get Robin Smith away from Shane Warne. Dermot none for 37 at the moment, and it's Warne to Smith. And that's why.
And that's the perfect line and length that Richie mentioned early on.
Now, if that was the other one, did he get outside the line? How far forward was he? Whatever, umpire Palmer says no.
Well, I think the fact that he got a long way forward saved him, because he never played at the ball. You can see there clearly how the bat is hidden behind the pad.
Well, you have to say he was beaten 3 times in that over, but he's still there. Now, if that's the one going the other way...
Well, Shane Warne, the bowler there, saying, come on to the umpire. I think he thought that was close. Look, there's no shot here. This ball pitching outside off stump and coming back. that definitely is worth a shout. But again, he's got a long way forward. That's the doubt he puts in the umpire's mind. It's a huge stride forward. I don't know anybody in world cricket that gets as far forward as Robin Smith.
Oh, picked that. I say picked it, but picked it up. If you get a ball genuinely on the half volley, it doesn't matter which way it's spinning.
Well, I think that just about sums up Shane Warne's frustration this morning. He's bowled beautifully at the England batsman, and then finally he's bowled at Gooch again, and he just whopped it out of the ground.
Now that's the closest thing this morning that Gooch has had. David Boone just stands a little deeper than most. That may well have cost him his chance here.
Just on the glove, I think. It's on the fingers, was it? But he's very deep at short leg, but that's the way they have him. He caught one in the first innings being deep.
Nicely picked. That'll be 4.
Well, Shane Warne there trying to bowl Robin Smith around his legs, trying to get into that rough, very wide of leg stump. Robin Smith plays a lovely controlled sweep. Didn't try to hit that very hard at all, just followed it round beautifully.
Oh, dear me. Just when you think you've got Warne, he comes and does something like this.
Well, it's not been Shane Warne's morning. Wrong un, picked by Robin Smith, but missed it, and it missed the stumps.
Gooch on strike. There's another one that, well, he's living a charmed life at the moment.
Well, I don't think David Boone can believe this. He got down to it very quickly, got his hands there, and it just dropped out. He sort of nearly had it. Sort of almost for a fraction of a second, it was in there, and then it was out.
That's it. Beautifully hammered away by Graham Gooch. This time meeting the shorter ball, not with a straight back, but with a beautiful crisp pull of the square leg. It waves to the dressing room and the crowd stand. This is eminently the best of Graham Gooch, the captain who leads by example.
That's a great way to bring up the 100.
Oh, that was that pad first? Well, Robin Smith is shocked perhaps by the appeal, certainly by the speed of the ball going through. A classic flipper.
Certainly was plenty of bat there. Whether it hit the pad first was the question. Obviously, umpire Palmer didn't think so.
Oh, that's out. He didn't read it. It looked googly to me. I don't know. We'll just take another look at that. But plenty of overspin on it because the extra defensive stroke had the ball running back on the stumps. And Robin Smith has gone for 18.
Yes, that's Robin Smith's problem. He's not picking Shane Warne at all. That was the wrong one. Played it defensively, and the overspin took it back onto the stumps. He didn't, it wasn't what you would call a confident defensive shot. Really played it down, and the overspin just rolled straight back onto the stumps. But it was because he was playing the ball so far back that it had the opportunity to run onto the stumps.
.171 for 3 now. Graham Hick is the new batsman. wafted away by Graham Gooch.
Was hit in the air, but hit very firmly. Well wide of Alan Border.
Well, that was luck. He really has been playing these wrong-uns at Graham Hick. And that just went over the top of Merv Hughes' outstretched hands at mid-on. That just looked like a beat shot.
Yes, it was a wrong-un. I don't know why Hick was really trying to go over the top with it, especially to get off the mark.
And he's gone. Not gone. Well. Attempted sweep. Turned out to be the back of the pad.
Well, the Australians were certainly confident. Yeah, I think it missed everything unless he got a bottom edge onto the pad. Certainly the umpire was a move.
2 more runs added after that appeal against Hick. It took the total up to 197 for 3 at lunch. A wonderful innings from Gooch. He started off on 82. He's now 112. Completely different from yesterday, where he played in positive fashion yesterday and made a lot of runs and very quickly. Today he was more circumspect, and it was a lovely exhibition of captaincy and batting. Hick is on 13, the one man out this morning. Smith bowled by Warne for a very good delivery, 18 for him. And the bowling figures for Australia: Warne 28 overs, 14 maidens, 2 for 56, and Hughes 1 for 54 from 13 overs and 2 maidens. We join play after lunch now with the first ball. It's Hughes bowling, and Graham Gooch is taking strike.
Well, this is the benefit of a lunch interval or break in batsman's concentration for the bowler. Didn't really do much, that ball, just held its line probably.
Picking that one well, whether or not it was a doodly or whether he's got it absolutely on the half volley, so it doesn't matter, but it's another 6.
Well, every time Shane Warne throws it up, just throws it up there and gives Gooch a chance to hit it, he just smack it straight into the outfield.
That might be, and isn't. Gracious me, it's running England's way. Alan Border.
Well, I did say a few minutes ago that I thought Merv Hughes should pepper Graham Hick with 1 or 2 short balls. Here's one dug in right into his ribs. He doesn't play it very well. It loops up a long, long way and a long time.
There's another one, and he's got away with it. Well, I think we're going to see a few more of what you suggested, Jeff.
Well, I think that's right, because I've seen quite a bit of Graham Hick bat. You see, he doesn't play this very well at all. I mean, that's a poor shot for a batsman of his class. It could have gone anywhere. There's a lot of luck involved in that. In fact, he plays the short ball defensively very poorly. Yet, when he tries to attack the short ball, he plays it very well. He pulls terrifically well.
That's a splendid stroke. That just about gets the pace of the pitch in perspective. It's much to Merv Hughes's credit that he's hurried a few batsmen along the way and he's got some wickets. But this is about the pace of the pitch, and that's a perfect shot. Oof. Graham Gooch is reading Shane Warne very well, but yeah, a good one is a good one, and just watch this pitch and turn so sharply. He picked that too. That was the back of the hand, the wrong one, or the googly. And Graham Gooch mows away with the spin. Oh, wow. Well, what happened there? What happened there? He's been given out. Handled the ball. Wow, what a sensational dismissal of Graham Gooch. Is that out-handled the ball? It's appeared to me it was.
Graham Gooch getting that one high on the bat, and he's belted it away with the back of the hand. So absolutely no doubt there. And I think Graham Gooch knows from the way he looked around slowly was the look of a guilty man. I think it was just an instant reaction, seeing that the ball was going to fall on the stumps, and then I think he suddenly realised he'd done the wrong thing.
Splendid innings, terrific leadership from the front, and he'll find that a very sad, unsatisfactory way to go, but he's certainly done his bit. Handled the ball, bowled Hughes, 133, England 223 for 4. There we see, it bounces up. Looks as if it's going on top of the stumps, on top of the bails. He gives a rather cheeky little punch. Out-handled the ball in Test. Endine, Russell Endine, Hilditch, Mohsin Khan and Desmond Haynes. A handy quartet of batters. So Graham Gooch becomes the 5th. Oh, wow, was that half a chance? A terrific effort to get down there. Steve Waugh on a gully.
One thing we can be certain of, he saved 4 runs. It was well hit there by Graham Hick. And I'd say it's bounced just in front of Steve Waugh. Just got it on the half volley.
Well, that flies away down to third man. There is no third man, so that's 4 runs to Graham Hick. You wouldn't call it a great stroke of confidence, but it was effective, and the ball was kept down. Oh, he's gone. He's gone. Beautiful bowling again. Some dug in short, then the perfect length, on or about off stump. And Graham Hick, rather leaden-footed. He goes for 22, and England are now in serious trouble.
Once again, he played the ball very, very late. You see that he's playing it back behind his pads when he actually nicked the ball. But the perseverance of the mobile moustache pays off, and he's got the breakthrough for his captain once again. Hick gone for 22, and it's 5 for 230.
And Chris Lewis is the new batsman. Catch it, they all shouted. Catch it. It looked to be a googly going into the leg side. I mean, did it flick the bat on the way through? Chris Lewis looks amazed. Shane Warne disappointed. Ken Palmer phlegmatic and unmoved.
No, it caught the edge of the rough, went through between bat, pad. A very confident shout from the men round the bat.
Nicely clubbed away for 4.
Stewart hitting that ball in the area where the tended to have a man for Graham Gooch, more or less middle of the pitches. He'd go in the air and there would have been a chance to have really been there.
A good shot. Brendan Julian is chasing. Hughes has just about given everything in this spell. I wonder if he's got a little bit left for Chris Lewis. Oh, what a good ball. What a good ball. Well, he's got that leg break going today. And he's done a terrific job. Alan Border gave him the ball at the start of play. He went through to lunchtime. He's been on that end ever since lunch. And now he's broken this partnership, a vital wicket for Australia.
Yes, in actual fact, that was more or less a straight delivery. I don't think he really gave that much spin. And Alex Stewart playing fractionally inside the line.
Philip de Freitas comes out now to join Chris Lewis. Beautifully played. It was really just a defensive push, and Lewis got it away to the extra cover boundary.
Yes, Brendan Julian noted the liking of Chris Lewis pace-wise. That was banging short, but not the extra bounce that Merv Hughes got out of this pitch. And he's playing that comfortably at the back foot. Nicely timed shot.
Well, he's out. That has to be on the back foot instead of getting forward to a near Yorker, swinging back. The only thing that could have saved him was if he'd got an edge. And Julian strikes.
Well, sad to say, I did nominate that he tends to play back Philip de Freitas to balls which are of fullish length. He should have really been forward to this with the ball swinging, and that's plumb in front.
And this view will show you just really the footwork was non-existent. He's exactly on the crease. Easy decision for umpire Bird to give with the ball just got another 4 feet to go.
3 fours and an over by Lewis off Julian helped take the score along to 273 for 7 at tea, and England was still in with a chance there. Lewis was on 27 and playing very well. Carrick, we know he can bat, but a lot of overs to be bowled and a difficult time ahead, but it can be done. The bowling figures for the Australians, Hughes and Warne are the dominant men there. McDermott has had no success so far. He's bowled 24 overs for 58 runs, but Hughes has 2, Warne 3, and Brendan Julian has chipped in there. It's expensive, but he has 1 for 61. We join play in the 3rd over. There's been 1 run added. Lewis is taking strike, and Shane Warne, the leg spinner, is bowling. And that's 4. It's a useful delivery.
Well, it wasn't the best of way to play it. He finished up playing him with the leading edge almost there, but it was a good delivery as well.
4 runs.
Well, you get full value for a little nudge. There's no third man on. Played that pretty well. Slightly angled bat, but he got on his toes and knocked it down. Disappointing thing from England's point of view is the fact that Gooch apart, everybody's got established into more or less 20, and yet nobody's going to make even a 50. Really, in making 60 or 70 along with Gooch, the game could have been saved comfortably.
He's got that one. And the clapping turns into cheers. Shane Warne just thinking, now where did he take that one from?
Well, the main thing was he managed to catch it just on the full toss. If it was pitched, he might well have been in trouble.
And that is probably the end of the match, because that was a perfect leg break which Chris Lewis didn't cover. That's the end of him for 43, and now England on the brink, 299 for 8.
Yeah, so most of that you probably put down to concentration. You've done all the hard work, and then you just relax a little. The bat came through in front of the pad, just push at it a little more, and a straightforward slip catch. And you can see the excitement there. Then you think you get a little bit tight. Only another 20 minutes to pass by and you start to sweat a bit, but surely now there's no way back coming up from here.
Well, Peter Such and his batting in the first innings, 14 not out, and he hung around for a while, but this really is asking, you would say, too much. In Australia have got close to this test victory with just 3 bowlers effectively. There's a nice shot from Caddick.
Whilst I think McDermott's form would be just worrying Alan Border a little, it would also be heartening to him that they've been able to win the test match without a contribution from Craig McDermott. Well, he handles the bouncer all right from Shane Warne.
Yes, the significance of that is that he's pushed Shane Warne into trying something different, because the normal good length stuff around leg stump he's dealt with all right. Pitch it up and take that.
That's one way of keeping the close fielders honest, and it's not a bad ploy, because he would be very unlucky to get caught. Have to be a rebound in the Wayne Phillips manner of 1985, but it gives the close-in fielders something to think about. Just keeps them on the back foot a little.
There's the slower one. Now, if that was the little deviation back, did Caddick get outside? Can't believe it, he said. Really ridiculous. Or words to that effect.
It's usually a wrong one, I think, from Merv when he bowls that slower one. It certainly hit on the inside part of the pad, but I think, judging by the smile on Dickie's face there, he felt that it may have just been outside the line.
He's hit him. Don't worry, Caddick said. Don't worry.
Well, I think this is fair enough. He's been playing so well and playing forward that he's entitled to receive a short ball. It was a good one. It was straight, aimed at him. He had to take evasive action, and he couldn't get out of the way quick enough. It hit him, but he has got the face mask on, so he won't get seriously hurt.
Now there is 5 o'clock, and the 15 overs now begin. The minimum 15 overs have to be bowled. Four more. Well, this ball angled across and just opening the face, getting away with it. But now comes one of the crunch times of this last hour, and there's going to be a few of them. This is the final ball of Julian's over. The close field has been broken up to save the single, to try to make sure that Such has to face Hughes. Now, he hasn't done it. They could go for 3, but they're just walking through for the single. And what good play that is. They'll either be 2 or 4, that's all they want, as long as Caddick stays at the same end. Now Merv Hughes is going round the wicket, and that means that I think we can see a few rib ticklers, Jeff.
Yes, he also looks a little bit tired to me, does Merv. I'm not surprised. He had a long ball today to get the wickets. We've been saying for a while now that he's not fully fit after that operation. He's trying to bowl himself into fitness.
Caught him. Caught him, what a wonderful catch. That really was. And that was always the possibility when Hughes went round the wicket, that Andrew Caddick, who's played so well and so courageously, faced with a different line, wouldn't be able to keep that sort of delivery down. And it wasn't a nomination case really, but it was always a possibility. And this Old Trafford crowd, listen to this for a reception.
Well, there aren't too many people here today, but they've given him a standing ovation. A very courageous performance, very determined in England's cause. And it was only a bit of thoughtful cricket by Merv Hughes and a super catch by Shane Warne at backward square that saw the end of him. There's nothing to be ashamed of. Good effort. We did nominate that Merv Hughes might try to bang the ball in. He did bang it in. Didn't get up too high, about hip high, but a super diving one-handed bobbling catch.
Got him and all over. Merv Hughes gets the 4th wicket and a stump. 8 wickets in the match for him. Border exultant, and Australia win. They've won by 179 runs, but effectively they've won by 35 minutes. England set out to bat throughout the day, and that man Hughes is the one who's denied them. Shane Warne did his best. Peter Such almost heartbroken. He needn't be, Jeff.
Well, it was a brave effort by Peter Such, but I thought Merv Hughes there was a splendid performance, really, on this dull, lifeless pitch. To play seamers, you'd like to bat on this pitch against seam bowlers. Peter Such worked hard, but look at Merv. It was a great performance. When you saw that Craig McDermott, the other fast bowler from Australia, the #1 bowler, didn't get a wicket in the match, and Merv's got wickets in each innings, and thoroughly deserved his wickets because he's looked as if he's going to get wickets all the time. And with Shane Warne bowling so well at the other end, mesmerising batsmen, all except Graham Gooch, then Australia have had 2 wicket-taking bowlers that have bowled them to victory.
Fitting that Alan Border took the final catch. And this is how it happened. Hughes has dug it in and can only push it at it, almost jabbing at it, and you can't criticise a number 10 or 11 for that.
A fine catch by Border to end proceedings there. 332 all out England. Gooch was the dominant factor. 133 before that extraordinary dismissal, and a lot of men there have got a start, but they haven't quite been able to go on with it. Lewis was the top scorer apart from Gooch, 43 for him, and Caddick, I thought, played with great courage and extremely well. Then the bowling figures for the Australians. McDermott wicketless, none for 76 in 30 overs and 9 maidens. 2 men there bowled quite magnificently, Hughes and Warne. Hughes, the enforcer, 4 for 92 in 27.2 overs and 4 maidens. Shane Warne, Match figures of 8 for 137. He had 4 for 86 here from 49 overs, including 26 maidens. That is a terrific performance, and Julian 1 for 67. So the card of the match, the Australians put into bat 289 all out and 432 for 5. England 210 all out and 332 all out. The Australians won by 179 runs. Man of the match was Shane Warne. Here he is now talking with Tony Lewis, and with him also is the Australian captain, Alan Border.
Well done, Alan. It was getting a bit close there, wasn't it?
It was getting very tight. We always felt that it was going to be that sort of day because the wicket was still very flat and pretty easy paced, and you know, just full credit to our bowlers. They really stuck to their guns and held on some good catches and fantastic victory.
You played a bit of league cricket round here. Did you know that English people can't pick wristbin?
A few in the league's a bit different. They usually hit you all over the place, but I think the English folks picked me. A few of them had a few difficulties, but hopefully over summer they have a few more difficulties.
I thought Warnie's performance was absolutely fantastic for a young spinner to sort of wheel away for, what was it, 49, 50 overs in the second innings. Just absolutely fantastic to keep his mettle and get those wickets.
And so you're looking forward to the next Test match?
Yeah, looking forward to the next Test match, Lords. It's something as you grow up you hear all about, and I hadn't seen Lords until we started practicing there. So hopefully, if I can get some more wickets or do get picked, hopefully I will. I like to bowl there, yeah.
You might get picked. Thanks very much.
Oh, I hope so anyway.
Two very happy men there, Shane Warne and Alan Border, talking with Tony Lewis. Here now we have Ian Chappell and Geoffrey Boycott reflecting on the day's play and what the future holds for English and Australian cricket.
Well, Old Trafford's been a pretty good ground for the Australians, and Merv Hughes did very well in this Test match, and he promoted that handle the ball, Fiery. That's not a good way for an English player to get out. I bet you never made that mistake.
No, I didn't. I actually did it once against Australia in Brisbane, 1965, when I was a young kid. I had nothing in the game. I just played it down, it bounced up. It wasn't going to hit the stumps. I just brushed it away. And I heard a voice from behind me, Wally Grout, said, "Don't do that, son."
And I bet you never made that mistake again.
Never again.
What about Lords? What do you think England can do for Lords? Anything?
Well, they certainly got to stop the rot. This is about 6 Test matches are lost on the trot. So whoever we bring in or don't bring in, Ted Dexter says he's not going to bring anybody in. But we've got to stop the rot, and I think he's got to consider somebody like David Gower, a left-hander, and Jack Russell, the wicket-keeper, who's a left-hander as well, to combat Shane Warne, the leg spinner.
Yeah, Shane Warne certainly a problem, and so is Merv Hughes. Some very happy Australians, and they'll be looking forward to Lords, which has always been a good ground for Australia.
Ian Chappell and Geoffrey Boycott. And that's all we have from Old Trafford at the end of this very exciting first battle of the Ashes of 1993. We'll be back on air at 10:55